Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to day 17 of this 30 Days of Mindfulness series. So, today I'm going to talk about energy in a meditation practice. It's an important part of mindfulness, is this ability to sustain awareness and to stay with experience. So, as human beings, energy is an inevitable part of being alive, vitality, right? Just through eating food and drinking water and breathing air, the body has a certain amount of energy to put forth. And the key thing I want to emphasize in mindfulness is that if this energy is always going into trying to get the circumstances of our lives around us just right, there's not as much energy to bring forth towards being aware of this entire world of internal experience. And while, of course, we have to, work towards, certain circumstances in our life, I'm not denying that. But there's also this entire inner world which can be cultivated, and when, if ignored, is kind of like we can feel depleted sometimes because a lot of these inner resources are not tapped into and examined and uplifted, which we have as human beings. So, developing and sustaining effort in mindfulness practice through an attitude of curiosity, through continually being able to stay with experience, noticing what's happening in the mind, staying with sensations of the breath. This is a means of interrupting kind of the haze of the mind. I know for myself, a lot of times I'll sit down to meditate and it's like, I just don't want to sit with what's happening in my experience. It's just like, if my mind wasn't like this, I'd be happy to do this. But because I have some aversion or laziness or whatever it is, but energy can allow us to begin to develop a greater capacity to say, even though I'm not feeling great, I don't want to do this, when I bring more energy into the practice, this is when the real change actually begins to happen. If I'm only sitting down to meditate when I'm feeling good, then that's going to be a limited part of my human experience. But if I can develop that capacity to sit even when I don't want to, and to stay with the full range in my meditation practice, then there can be real deeper change can begin to unfold. And so the fact that you are sitting and watching this video right now means that this energy is in you, is already starting to invest in that inner experience. You're wanting to be curious. You're wanting to bring attention towards this internal world. So it's important to notice that, and you can begin to harness this quality of effort and bring it into your meditation practice and allow it to grow and flourish. So the key with this energy is obviously to not turn it up to 120% all the time. Otherwise it's not really sustainable, right? It's not trying too hard. Even I've done this a million times myself. We're like, all right, I'm just gonna sit down and I'm just gonna be, I got this. I'm just going to kill this meditation session. And what happens is that I inevitably will just feel exhausted because I'm trying too hard. And at the same time, if there's not enough energy, if I'm just kind of lackadaisical, which I also fall into at times, right? I can just be kind of spacing out, like, I feel a little open and the mind is just kind of going here and there and I'm not even noticing what's happening. So in order for this to be sustainable, it has to be balanced right in that sweet spot in the middle of just being present, not over efforting. And when this develops in seated meditation, it's easier to maintain off the cushion in our daily lives. When I'm going about my day, when I'm preparing my food, when I'm going for a walk, it's easier to stay with my experience if I'm not trying too hard, right? Or in a conversation with a friend. So we'll try this for a little bit in a seated meditation. So just wherever you are right now, finding this upright and balanced posture, one which you can easily sustain for the next 10 minutes or so. And closing your eyes if that feels comfortable, or just resting your gaze in front of you. And beginning to notice the sensations of breath which are already happening in this body. Just allowing the mind to set down its usual preoccupations and just settling back into just being aware of what it's like to be in this body breathing right now. Allowing the out-breath to soften any unnecessary tension which is being held. Releasing the jaw and the forehead, softening the muscles of the mind. And making an intentional effort to sustain this awareness of this body breathing. Not pushing too hard, not spacing out, just simply being aware. Allowing the shoulders to release any unnecessary tension held there. Scanning all the way down through the back and feeling the contact points with the ground beneath you, or the cushion, or the chair. Kind of allowing the mind to rest on this base for just a moment. Always using this rhythm of the breath to stabilize the mind. Allowing the torso to release any unnecessary tension there. The belly and the chest. And opening down into the legs and the feet. And really feeling this whole energy and vitality which is present in this entire body, breathing. Awareness is present, and we can sustain awareness by resting it into the vitality of the body. Being curious about the sensations which are happening of the breath. Noticing the end of the out breath A brief pause before the inhalation. And just sustaining a balanced energy throughout this meditation. The mind is bound to wander towards thinking, and it's just another moment to be aware. Just noticing the thinking and coming back towards the breath. Allowing the stability and the presence and the vitality of this body to support the mind. To anchor the mind. In mindfulness, we're not trying to get a particular experience. We're just continually being curious about what is happening right now. And for this last minute or so, just really opening up to the entire range of what it feels like to be alive, to be in a body with a heart that's pumping, with lungs that are breathing, with a mind which can think and observe. Just settling back into an open awareness, being fully alive. So thanks for taking the time to sit and be still. And my, I guess, takeaway here is just to find what this balance and sustainable energy of awareness is for you, you know? To just begin to develop a relationship for how that feels like, a real sense of like what it feels like to just be aware in a way where it is sustainable, where it's not trying too hard. This is kind of like, I've heard this from one of the Thai forest teachers, in that in trying so hard to be mindful sometimes, it's like I'm just tripping even more over the roots of the trees around me, as opposed to actually just being present and paying attention when I'm walking. So things like that. How can this be a practice which can become transportable, something which you can move off of the cushion and into your life, in your daily activities? So thanks as always for taking the time to sit, and until next time, be well.